What's going on, you guys? Thank you for listening and viewing the Verse Podcast. I'm Kev.
Yo, I'm Ant.
What's going on, you guys? Studio's looking different. Or it's a throwback, or we're going back to the future.
I just found a time machine, actually.
Yeah, if you guys have been watching our podcast for a while now, you can remember that this is where we started shooting. This is where we originally were shooting. And this is in North Jersey because, we're in South Jersey now. So anytime we're in North Jersey, this is the spot. So we're back at A&J Media Studios over in North Jersey. So definitely check that out. Great studio. So happy to be back. It's actually kind of happy, pleasant, but surprising at the same time.
Actually, a tear came to my eye when I walked in here.
Yeah, for real. It brought me back like a year and a half ago. It's been a year and a half, we said,
yeah,
right?
That's insane.
Yeah, a year and a half since we've been here, so it feels like I'm a year and a half younger again. We have news that's going to come out. We didn't do something this previous summer, but we have news that something's coming back. We're not going to say what it is yet, but it's really big. And it's exciting. We didn't know if it was going to come back. So, in the works is something, and we'll announce that very soon. But, guys, today we're in North Jersey. Great town that came up with so much music, right?
So,
back in the early 2000s, from going to local shows, VFW Hall, Skaters World, Bloomfield Cafe, all these great old school venues. Guys, today we have a special guest, Ryan from Tokyo Rose.
Applause.
Yeah. Ryan, what's going on, man?
What's going on?
Dude, thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we've been playing this for a while now, so I'm happy we got it to actually make it happen.
Absolutely.
I met you personally years ago. You know who I am. I know who you are. But we formally met together in person. Was in Wonder Bar in Asbury Park. Yeah, that was a great show. Great lineup.
It's a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you guys headlined that show, right?
That's right. Yeah. Just it was a great show with some Asbury, legends, kind of younger generation, but still keeping it going. We played with Tug of War Machine, Vanity Score. Yeah. It was a good time.
Yeah.
And it's great to reconnect, too.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much, man. Vanity Score I actually just saw again in Asbury.
Sweet.
And got to talk to them. Really cool guys.
Yeah,
absolutely. And, the music is really good. So I wanted to talk about you guys coming back. You guys have a comeback now, right? Reunion shows, reunion tours going on.
That's right.
We spoke, I think, it was in July or June around that time.
Yeah, around July.
Yeah, around July. And we wanted to have you in sooner, but in August you toured with Red Jumpsuit, right?
That's right. Yeah, we were on the road with some old friends from California West Coast in July. So we were supposed to stop by on the way back, but then we got the Red Jumpsuit shows, so it was like a whirlwind. So the bands we were on tour with in the West Coast was Beautiful Mistake from San Diego, good friends of ours, like one of our very first tours. Watashi Wa from over there as well, like back in I want to say 2004, 2005. We toured with them.
Oh wow.
And then Audio Karate, again, one of our first tours in '03 from California. It was a really good time. And then we linked up eventually with The Actual, who was one of our last tours in the middle of the country, but they're from Cali as well.
Okay. Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you guys all stay connected still.
Yeah, you know, it's we all go back, and there's kind of this wave of nostalgia you guys had mentioned.
Yeah.
You know, like it felt like we went back in time.
Yeah.
You know,
It
And,
really
like,
did. Yeah. Even the kids are dressing like it's like early 2000s.
It's
now.
true. It's
Yeah.
true. I gotta find my Jenkos.
Yeah.
They're somewhere.
Yeah. That. So you guys started. You guys had your first show on like November 29th around that time.
That's right. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. What? How did that come to be? When did you know that you wanted to start playing again? It has been a
Yeah.
while. How long has it been
It
since?
had been a while. So our last official tour was in 2008.
Yeah.
We played with Bayside, Straight Late Run, and 4 Year Strong.
Oh, nice.
And at that time, our bass player had started playing with the Color Fred.
Oh wow, Taking Back Sundays.
Yeah, when he stepped down from Taking Back Sunday, he started his own thing and played some amazing tours. Fred's an amazing musician. We've been friends with Fred since, you know, I want to say like 2004, 2000, maybe 2003 as well, when he was doing Breaking Pangea. And we played with them down in the Philly area, or maybe Westchester, Pennsylvania area. And, you know, we always hit it off. We always had a good rapport. And so our bass player, Chris, who had been in Tokyo Rose since the beginning, you know, he was like, Fred's doing this thing. I want to go check it out and see what happens. And so we were like, yeah, you got to do it. You know, it's going to be a good experience. And Fred's taken off. And, you know, they toured with Angels and Airwaves, From First to Last, a bunch of huge bands. A band that was huge to me growing up, MXPX. They toured with MXPX, and I was like, man, dude, you got to take that tour. You got to take this opportunity because I like worship those guys. Like I think my high school quote in my senior yearbook was like from that song "Doing Time" off of Life in General, like back in I want to say '97 or '98. So yeah, it was a great opportunity. So that kind of like, you know, hit the pause button for us, and then we kind of, you know, thought, let's get on with life. Let's you know, let's pause this and see what happens. You know, we all kind of started playing in different bands or doing different things. Like went back and finished my degree, and yeah, it was, you know, and life kind of happened in you know, like 17 years, and then last summer. Or no, summer of 23. Shoot, what year are we in right now?
25.
That's summer of 24.
Yeah.
A buddy got in touch with us. This cat named John Damiano. He basically like does all the tour booking for Emo Night Karaoke.
Oh, okay.
You know, playing all the hits, and people can sign up on the iPad to, you know, a bunch of great venues all over.
Oh, is that
I
the
wanna
one in
say-
Starland that they did?
I don't know if they did Starland. They done White Eagle Hall in Jersey City.
Oh, I know that spot. Yeah.
I think
They've
they
done
have
a
one
bunch
at
of
Wellmont
places.
coming up too.
Yeah, they do have one at Wellmont. They have done Wellmont before, and you know, he was like, "Hey, you know, the way he tells the story, he's like, he was like out of the blue, you know, he may have been partaking in some psychotropics at the time. He like hit me up on Facebook Messenger of all places because
Yeah.
I'm old, so like all the other socials are kind of, we don't really mess with them at the time. And he was like, "Hey, have you guys ever thought about doing a reunion?" And we were like, "No, we never thought about it. You know, like we're open to it. We're all like doing different things. Life is, you know, we all got kids and jobs and all that stuff." And so he hit me up, and then I reached out to the other guys, and the other guys were down for it. So we were supposed to just do one show, like that Black Friday of November 24, and then that turned into like a weekend of sold out shows in Philly, in Brooklyn, and they're like, "Hey, this was fun, you know, like maybe we should do it again." You know, so then we've been friends with Catch 22 guys for a long time. I don't know if this is going to come up at all, but our bass player Chris and I were in two different ska bands in the late 90s in the North Jersey scene. And so we became friends with Catch 22 way back then.
Oh wow, I didn't know
And
that.
so, yeah. so they were like, hey, we're coming around. We're playing with Shutdown, another band from back then, but like a hardcore band, like a New York City hardcore band. So it was kind of like a mixed bag of bands, and it's kind of like how shows used to be, like ska, hardcore, punk.
Yeah.
You know, pop punk was all like on the same bill at the Wayne Firehouse. You know, at Skaters World.
Yeah.
So we were like, let's do it. You know, so that was at Debonair, what used to be Mexicali Live.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we just started playing some more shows from there. We were like, hey, you know, this is fun. Why don't we like play some shows, and why don't we try writing again? You know, and it had been a while.
Wow.
So we were just like, hey, let's just see what happens. And we had met through John Damiano, a record label out of upstate New York called Man and Cat Records. They had just signed Amber Pacific, Ryan Cabrera from MTV fame. And so they were like, hey, you know, let's do something together. So we got together with them, and they're like, we're coming up on 20 years of New American Saint. And so they decided, hey, why don't we re-release that on vinyl? And that was like always a dream of ours. When we recorded that album, it was meant to be kind of played back to back to back, you know, as if you put it on a record player, so that it would flow seamlessly from one song to the next. And that was just a dream come true. So we worked with them. They put that out.
I did buy that vinyl.
Oh, sick. Thanks, brother.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for it. It's in shipping.
Oh,
I just got the tracking number yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw it. It's like the inside vinyl. It's like a rust, like kind of like tie dye. It looks
kind
cool.
of it's like
reddish.
bourbon-y.
Yeah, it looks.
That's
nice.
how I see it.
It looks sick.
I love me some bourbon.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt you. I just said the
No,
same.
you're good. You're good, man. And so they put that out, and they were like, hey, you know, like if you guys want to do some new music, we can put that out too. So we started cooking, and we're not complete yet, but we've got a couple songs in the can with Fred Mascherino. He's an amazing producer as well. He's got a great studio in Westchester called Diver Down Studios. He's recorded a bunch of amazing bands like Challenger from like Philly area, like Roses from that area. So Chris plays in another band called Sleep Cycles from Philly. He's recorded them, and it's just been like old times, you know, like riding a bike, except that we're better at riding bikes now.
Yeah.
You know, like we weren't as good back then. So yeah, that's kind of how it happened. And we kind of, you know, friends over the years have been like, hey, we're doing a reunion too. Why don't you guys come up to California? And then we did some shows in Jersey and Philly with those West Coast bands. And then now we're flying out to Chicago.
Wow.
So we're going to play some shows, which we announced a little while ago with Junior Varsity and Park from Chicagoland area. And then they're going to come out east. We'll do some shows with them when they come out east. So it's kind of been a year of like, hey, why don't we just do something? See what happens, you know, like throw something against the wall, see what sticks.
Yeah.
It seems like it's sticking.
It's been fun. It's been really fun.
Yeah, that's crazy that you guys just came back for a 1 weekend of shows, and now you're like back at it. Like you like are going back in like 2007.
It's
like,
true.
Yeah, like just never stop type of thing.
Told you to find a time machine.
Yeah.
You did. I wish my back felt it. You know? Like,
how does it feel like taking so much time off and then getting back into what? Because it's like going like back into your like old life, right? It's been years.
Yeah.
So how's that feel?
It's been, you know, it's been surreal.
Yeah.
You know, like reconnecting with people from back then, and you know, people who have reached out and been like, hey, like you're like my high school pop punk, my high school emo memory. You know, they're gonna come out to the shows on West Coast. They came out to the shows, or they came out on West Coast, and they're gonna come in like Chicago area. Just reconnecting with folks. It's been amazing. You know, like life has happened, and it's just encouraging that people, you know, thought that they liked the music and our friendship enough to like come back out and see us, and you know, buy re-released music. And it's funny, you know, when this whole thing happened, somebody asked on like one of the socials, like, hey, what's like, does Tokyo Rose have a Facebook account or anything? And we were like, we didn't even have a Facebook account because we stopped playing when MySpace kind of stopped and when Facebook took over. So we never even had a Facebook page. And we still don't.
Yeah.
But, you know, we're on Insta, so.
Yeah, now you're on Insta. That's great. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, with this podcast, we bring on like artists that are like just coming out, like newer artists, and like they're all like submersed in the social media, which is like wild to me because like I grew up going to those shows that you guys used to play, Wayne Firehouse, Skaters World, Bloomfield Ave, like that was like the time that like I was going out to all those shows. Any shows we could go to, we would be out like Friday, Saturday,
Absolutely.
and go to those shows. It's funny because the way I heard about you was from Chris Badami. That's how I
Okay.
heard about your band. So I used to be in a band back in the day. We used to
Okay.
play Skaters. We obviously weren't as big as you guys.
Sure.
Because nobody knows who we are. But we recorded with Badami.
Nice.
And I remember Badami was like, oh, like when you were there, he was like, you should check out this band. And it was you guys.
That's funny.
He goes, at Tokyo Rose. Yeah. And the first song I think that I heard was Saturday Every Day.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I remember on Pure Volume.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it was like super Pure Volume. That's a super throwback.
That's a throwback for sure.
Yeah, and yeah, that's how I remembered. And I just thought it was really cool that you guys came back after all that time. Because during that time when we recorded, that was probably around 2003 or 4.
Yeah.
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 you
That's when we
first started.
recorded at Chris's. He had just gotten a new. I think he got like an SSL board. And we were like one of the first things that he recorded on it. And, to our ears, like it was like we're in a real studio. We had done demos on like GarageBand and like some of our friends had like some, digital 8-tracks and stuff. And that was like the first time we were like in a real studio.
Yeah, the one in Lincoln Park, right? With
Yeah.
the big windows.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I remember Chris always for lunch was like New York burritos are the shit. He used to say that's all he would order there, and then
That's
couldn't
amazing.
record the rest of the day because I'd be in the bathroom. But
Right.
and he had like the old school video games in the
Yeah.
other room. I remember that.
That's right.
So throwback. But that's great that you guys are back in action. So you guys have all these tours going on. For the people that are new to the generation, for like the new wave, when did you guys get started? And
So-
how did you guys get started?
Yeah, I mean, funnily enough, like I said earlier, Chris, our bass player, was in a ska band, kind of a traditional ska band, kind of like New York City style ska band called Professor Plum.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in a punk ska band called Day 19. And we played a lot of the places in North Jersey. We played Wayne Firehouse, Bloomfield Ave Cafe, the Palace in Bound Brook, Hamilton Street Cafe, every American Legion hall that would have us, like Nutley Nutley American Legion, Boonton Elks Lodge, like anything that
VFW halls.
yeah, any show that had a floor and somebody could bring a PA in, we were there. And we started playing more and more, with the Catch-22s, the Humble Beginnings, the Lane Myers, and we just, started to get, a little bit of a following. And we would play shows with Professor Plum as well. And then all 4 horn players in the ska band, Day 19, we were all the same age. We graduated high school the same year in 99, and then we went away to college. And we all went to different colleges, so the band couldn't really play shows that much unless we were home from college. So I actually, in Day 19, instead of playing horns when the other guys were away, because they were like in Boston and in Providence, I would go and just play guitar with the ska band, because we played more like punk ska. And I would play guitar on like the horn parts. And then I had started writing some songs back in high school that were more like pop punk, more emo, like Get Up Kids influenced, and never really had a band to like put it together with. But around, like freshman year at Rutgers, actually right before that I met Mike Glitta, who's still a good friend to this day. If you guys don't recognize that name, you should, because Mike Glitta started Senses Fail. He was the bass player in Senses Fail for many years, part of their Gold Records. He's a good friend of mine, and he played drums in Tokyo Rose. Now, this is
Did he?
spoiler
Really?
alert. Tokyo Rose, I wasn't in Tokyo Rose, and Chris wasn't in Tokyo Rose, because we were
Oh.
both playing in our ska bands.
Oh, right. Okay.
So Mike Litta, another good friend from Bloomfield, Matt Riley, had started a band called Tokyo Rose, and it was like pop punk emo, and they were playing some shows, some local shows, And when I contacted Mike, because I remember that he played drums, I reached out to him. I was like, "Hey, man, I got these songs. Like, do you want to jam in your parents' basement?" He was like, "Yeah, why not?" You know, because I had met him before through like I don't know if it was Craigslist, like a drummer looking for a band, and so we jammed. We played some of my songs. He's like, "You should join my band." I'm like, "What's your band?" He's like, "Oh, Tokyo Rose." I'm like, "Oh, no way, I know Matt." You know, I went to high school with Matt. Matt's a couple years younger than me at Bloomfield High. And so we started playing shows. We had another bass player at the time. And actually, before I joined the band, there was another Filipino lead singer, guitar player, a dude called Lester
In Tokyo Rose.
in Tokyo Rose.
So crazy.
It's weird. I like totally like, understudied him.
They got to name that a town in the Philippines now. just
Right?
from-
Right?
yeah. It's wild.
Reppin', by the way.
Yeah, there you go. Hell
I
yeah.
had to wear this
Let's
jersey
go.
today.
Yeah.
Jersey Nation.
yeah.
So we started playing my songs, and then Lester went away to college as well, and then the bass player went away to college. So Mike, myself, Matt, and then we needed a bass player. So I knew Chris from his Professor Plum days, so I reached out to him, and we just started jamming. And eventually Matt went away to school too, or he went to culinary school, so then he couldn't do Tokyo Rose, and so it was me, Chris, and Mike starting Tokyo Rose, and we did a 2-song demo that Matt was actually on. We wrote like a Fat Records fast pop punk song
Oh, okay.
that ended up on our first EP called Clean Break, with a good friend called Chaz from my high school as well, and then we recorded kind of an emo song called Third Semester. We were like heavily influenced by like Penfold, and then throwing the screamo in with like early Thursday stuff, and so we released that. And we kind of like handed it out, and then we started playing some shows at VFW's, M&M Hall. Do you guys remember Stingrays at
I've heard of
Birch Hill?
Old Bridge.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like, so you had Birch Hill, which is like the big music venue. This is before Starland.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had a smaller side stage, which was like a gentleman's club, I think, or
Oh,
something.
really?
Like, but they would do shows as well that were booked by Heath Miller from XSDB. Heath is, he's a legend in the scene. He's like on the NJ pop punk group and stuff
okay.
like that.
Wow.
And so we started playing shows there. We played a couple shows. Like we opened for Starting Line one time. We opened for The Movie Life another time, and then Matt went to culinary school. So then we were left with kind of, what are we going to do now? We played some really great shows. There seems to be a good reception to them. So we went into a studio in the Poconos with a guy called Richie Cage. I can't remember his real last name, but his like stage name is Richie Cage.
Sick name.
Yeah. It was like one of those deals where it was like a recording studio in the basement and then like the house upstairs. You could stay in the house. We went there for like a week and then recorded 4 songs that we had written. The fast pop punk song was included, and then a couple other songs that I had written. And then we had this acoustic song that like I put together, and I was like, I don't want to make this a full band song. Like I was huge Dashboard fan. So I was like, let's just do it like, kind of just acoustic and vocal. And then the guy Richie Cage was like, hey, I got a piano. Do you want to play piano? And like I played some piano on it, because being Filipino, being Asian,
Yeah.
you had to pick violin or piano as a kid. So I picked up piano.
True.
And so I played a little piano on it, and then we were like, you know what, this is missing something. And we looked for a female vocalist in the Poconos, and we encountered this family ran a go-kart place, and we were just like walking around with an acoustic guitar in the mall, and then we went to this go-kart place, like, hey, do you know any like girls who sing? And it turned out one of the daughters of the guy who owned the go-kart place was a singer, and she had sung like on like off Broadway stuff, and then she was in the movie Wet Hot American Summer,
Really?
directed by David Wayne and featuring a
Yeah.
bunch of the guys from
It's a
the
classic.
state.
Oh,
Yeah. It's
So
a cult classic.
she does the Godspeed song Day by Day, like at the camp.
Oh wow. Okay.
So she had just done that, And then she was like, "Yeah, actually, I sing." And so they came to the studio. Her
What are the
dad,
chances of that?
Dude,
That's crazy.
I mean, it was just one of those things.
It's
you
like
know?
looking for someone and you find someone like that.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
So that was our EP. We put it out with a small label from Massachusetts called All About Records. A great guy named Russ put it out for us, and we started kind of shopping that, and got picked up by Sidecho Records, which was affiliated with the Militia Group at the time, and that's kind of how we recorded with Badami at Portrait, and then that was kind of the start of Tokyo Rose being a thing. Like being like playing, like going on tour and recording albums and stuff.
Wow, that's a crazy story.
That's a crazy story.
Yeah.
Sorry, you might have to edit some of that.
No,
No.
it's a great story.
Just how everything aligned for you too. You know, like finding people, everybody coming together. Like it's just
Yeah,
it's crazy how like if you guys just keep pushing for your goals, like
totally,
things totally work out at the end of the day.
totally.
So between that time and Reinventing a Lost Ark, what was the time between that EP and that album coming out?
So we recorded the EP, I want to say in 2001, like the summer of 2001, and then released it, I believe, in September of 2001, and then like we started playing more and more shows. You know, we would play some college scenes. We played down in TCNJ with a band called the June Spirit, who's amazing, an amazing band. You know, that kind of like broke up way too soon. A bunch of those guys went on to start different bands. A band called New Atlantic. And then Dave Carlson, the bass player, you know, he's just been active in the scene. He's a great guy to know. And Garrett, the guitar player, is a really cool dude too. He's in another band now called Grip on the World, which have become good friends of ours as well. And it's just been, it was like just playing college shows where we knew somebody who went to that college, you know, playing the student center shows, playing VFW halls, playing basement shows at Rutgers. I had a house at Rutgers with like 7 other roommates, and we did a couple shows in our basement with some local bands. Another great band from New Brunswick called Outsmarting Simon, kind of like a more Midwestern emo kind of vibe. A band called The Only Normal from that area. I think they were from East Brunswick. Yeah, and we played with a band called Stillwell. Kelly, who's now in Tiny Ships, was the drummer in that band. And Doug, who's in The Sleeping, was in that band. They were awesome. They were super heavy, you know, and like just progressive. And Kelly's a ridiculous drummer. Yeah, so we started playing shows like kind of Eminem Hall, Prince of Peace and Howl. I'm trying to remember some of these venues. I mean,
You guys are all over.
we like Starland became a thing, and the only time we ever played Starland, you know, that you mentioned Sonoa, like we played open up for Matchmaker, which was the guys from the Youth Ahead from back in the day, but they reformed, playing a little bit more.
Oh, I know the Youth Ahead. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so throwback.
Yeah, so throwback, you know, 3-piece power pop.
Yeah.
Punk. And then Matchmaker was a little bit more melodic.
They were huge back then.
Oh yeah, they were huge, great
Yeah.
guys. You know, Sean and Jay, just meeting up with those guys again, and playing at Starland with them, and then yeah, just kind of getting into the cycle and the rotation at Bloomfield Ave. So then we started playing those shows, and then eventually, Sideshow got our EP, and then like came out to see us. We played in Manhattan. We played at the Continental, which is no longer there. It's like one of those old school punk rock clubs in the Village. We played there, and they came out to see us, and you know, took us out to dinner. We're like, "Hey, we want to sign you," and we we're like, "Yeah, I think this is what you're supposed to do, right?" So we signed to them for 3 albums, and you know, they did like great amount of tour support for us, and hooked us up with you know, with merch, and helped us buy our first van. Yeah, so that's kind of like from 2001 until 2003
Yeah.
is the kind of that whole process.
Okay. So then during when you signed with them, that's when you came out with your first full album.
That's right.
You're right. Wow. And then that was obviously a success because now what's remastered on vinyl,
Right.
New American Saint, right?
Yeah.
So I know this is repetitive. What is the time between that now that
Yeah. So I think you know, back then
And
We
what
did-
shows did you play in between those two albums? Like
Right.
at this point, you have to be playing like big like huge shows, right?
Yeah, I mean, you
Yeah.
know, for us, like we got to play. I said this on a different interview. Like it was the dream to play Warped Tour. You know, like
wow.
going to Warped Tour in '95 at Asbury, and I went down there and was like, wow, like I can see, like I can almost touch No Effects. I can almost touch Bad Religion and Pennywise.
Yeah.
And all those bands, and you know the bands that I grew up in high school loving, and we played the same stages like No Use for a Name and like very young Blink 182. You know, like Aquabats were on the same stage. I think like that's when
Travis.
Blink 182 met Travis Barker.
Yeah.
But, you know, I want to take credit for it. You know, it was like on those small stages that we got to rub elbows with those guys, and but we got on Warped Tour our first year with the record out in 2003. We got on, I believe it was the Kevin Says stage.
Oh, okay.
And
I remember that stage. Yeah.
bands that played that stage like had to take parts of the stage in their trailers and drive them to the next city and then like build the stage that morning
Really?
and then
That's
then
sick.
go build our like merch tent and yeah, you know, it was like totally cutting your teeth.
Yeah.
Kevin, you know, Mr. Lyman, I want to call him like just the pioneer of Warped Tour, and he was so generous to bands like us that were just getting our start, you know. And he's broken the career of so many amazing, you know, like I think people like, oh, like Katy Perry started on Warped Tour. You remember like she was on Warp, Gym Class Heroes, you know, like Blink. The list goes on and on.
Yeah.
And the fact that we got to do that with our first album, and then in between that and 2005, we played a bunch of tours with some kind of more regional bands that were on our label or connected to the label, the Militia Group bands, and like the Beautiful Mistake. We went on tour with them again, and then Chris, our bass player, has like an encyclopedic mind for all of the shows that we played and all the tours that we did.
Yeah.
But we played with a band called Sherwood, who was also on Sideshow Records, a band called Let Go, who was the new band from Jamie from the Stereo, a band I worshipped from Arizona. Jamie's an amazing singer, incredible songwriter. We got to go on tour with Let Go, another band from Militia Group, like the Big Collapse from Militia Group, and a couple other bands from like the Sideshow Militia Group. Oh, Copeland from, I think they're from Florida, but they resided in Georgia. An amazing band, like, and they were super influential in just like how we thought about songwriting, how we thought about you know, like performing, because they're incredibly proficient musicians. So like being on tour with them, it's like, oh man, like you don't have to like, you know, do skateboarding jumps while you're playing. Like you can like focus on what you're playing and like make it sound good. And yeah, so those were the bands we were kind of doing it with, and then it came time to write a new album. And so Copeland had recorded with the Matt Goldman. We call him the Matt Goldman, who recorded Copeland, Under Oath, I believe Norma Jean, like a bunch of like the kind of, you know, heavy emo bands and screamo bands. But we were like, we want to have those sounds, but with melodies like Copeland, because Copeland had more kind of chill. You know, he was kind of a softer spoken or softer singer, but very technically proficient. And we were like, we're a different band now. We've kind of grown up. We still kind of see songs and music in that pop punk lens, but we've gotten to be better musicians. And so we wanted to experiment more and kind of write a record that connected. And the way we describe it is like that record in particular is kind of it's a love letter to different people who were influential in our lives. And so we really wanted to kind of paint, you know, musical pictures with that record. So going in with Matt Goldman, you know, such a privilege. We got to go to Atlanta and be down in Atlanta for like 6 weeks, tracking with him. And we met a really good friend down there who had put us up in like on tour, a guy called Aaron Bexted, 084 Aaron. a great friend to this day, who kind of like showed us around Atlanta, and we met up with a couple Atlanta bands to tour to get down there. A band called Small Victory from down there, and then a band called Sullivan from North Carolina. Funnily enough, their drummer in Sullivan is the brother of Spencer, who's the screamer in Under Oath.
Oh, wow.
So like they helped us get connected with Matt Goldman too, and yeah, it was just like the stars aligned for us to be able to be down there.
Yeah, like you guys have so many connections in the scene. It's crazy to me.
Yeah, a band of our level at that time, we weren't getting, MTV play or anything like that. So we pretty much relied on the kindness of virtual strangers, like a friend's brother's band, or, a friend whose, mom will let you stay on their floor, and then, or another band who's on the same label would like help you find a venue in their town, and you'd play a show in their town, and then they come and play a show in your town. So it's a lot of kind of, just like mutual respect and taking care of each other, like you said.
That's great.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's like lost now with like all the social media thing is like it feels like back in the day like you had to be like more dependent on the road, right? To get like numbers.
Absolutely.
Now like Instagram, the labels are all looking at analytics, right? Like how many views do you have, how many followers you have. Like back in the day you could just depend on the road, and it's like kind of like, all right, looks like they're doing great. Let's it seems more organic and special that way, I guess.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Yeah, you had to kind of beat the pavement. You had to like get in front of people. Because MySpace was great, but MySpace didn't really have video, and you had pure volume, so you can give out snippets and stuff. And that was kind of like the start of digital media,
pure volume,
right? And I think, and we'll talk about this later. I think that changed the recording industry, being able to kind of share and download, and illegally share and download. And I think all of that's kind of led to where we are today. It's just a different beast. It's a different animal altogether, I think.
So, from that album to the last album you guys recorded, 2007, The Promise. Was it The Promise in Compromise? Yeah, The Promise in Compromise. That album was your last album, right?
That's right.
They recorded 2007.
That's right.
And I was listening to 3 of those albums straight recently, right? And I noticed like the last one is very like, it sounds like you guys like found like a voice. Like it sounded so different from the other records. Like there was like some dancier songs, there was like some harder songs in it, and there was like a good flow of just like different writing styles in it.
Definitely.
And the recording seemed like it was also like bumped up a bit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, all of that was, I want to say it was intentional, but it was mostly, kind of just came out from what we had experienced on the road, and the kind of music that we wanted to play. Going back, Chris and I had been in ska bands, so ska has always been part of our story. Tokyo Rose wasn't a ska band, but you'll hear on that album like more dance kind of vibes and a lot of those like ska chops, but like the guitar parts, that kind of like would be in a ska song, but like put over this kind of style of music. We were in ska bands, we loved the Police, like we worshipped the Police and like their songwriting and how they created textures with just 3 musicians. And so that kind of went into some of the songwriting as well. I think, from the second record, New American Saint, being kind of love letters to people who had, supported us and stuff along the way. I think Promise and Compromise was kind of like maybe a shorter term memory, like the people who were supporting us at that time, like kind of being caught up in the lifestyle of being a touring musician. In that time between 2005 and 2007, we went to Japan twice on tour.
Oh wow.
With some label mates, and then to play a festival that had Punchline, Hidden in Plainview, Houston
Remember
Calls,
Punchline, and I remember all those bands. Yeah.
yeah, and Bowling for Soup was like the main headliner.
Yeah.
But then we also played with like Against Me was on, so like met those guys. Like traveling back and forth between the festival and then some of the local kind of like well, not local, but like the city shows, because the festival show was like up on a mountain, but then we played.
sick.
Yeah, I mean it
Yeah.
was amazing, like the
Japan,
most
too.
beautiful place you could play. And so we got to do that, and then we come home from the second time in Japan, and we got on Taking Back Sunday tour because we've been good friends with Fred, and Fred had been, Taking Back Sunday. They had done Where You Want to Be, which went gold, and that he was a part of, and then they released Louder Now, so we went on tour with them for the album release of Louder Now.
That's sick.
And got to play some amazing venues, and hear them just like at their peak, just like shredding.
That was their
You know
peak.
what I
Those
mean?
albums I love.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I still listen to this day.
Yeah, I mean,
Absolutely.
Where You Want to Be especially is
Yeah.
like, I love that album with Fred on it.
Absolutely.
Like his voice, like the guitar style, I love it. It's great.
Yeah,
It's such a
and he's-
perfect album.
a lot of the same influences that we have in our musical style. He's more, he loves Van Halen. He's like more in kind
Oh,
of
really?
like the metal, and like we talked about it a lot in the studio, just like some of the guitar influences, and it's like just seeing him play that live and like run around the stage and like not get hit by Adam's microphone. It was such an amazing experience to be able to do that.
That was literally their peak, because I think they were doing like Tonight Show at that point,
Yeah.
right? I
Totally.
remember like seeing them on Tonight Show. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Like you knew the scene was huge when you would turn it on and be like Jay Leno or Dave Lemmer, and you saw the Used on there.
Totally.
Yeah.
Like, just crazy. Like I can't even, like to this day, like if they did it now, I couldn't even imagine.
Absolutely. Yeah, like A Census Fail was on. They were on Conan.
Yeah.
Like this. Like our little brothers. Like they were like high school kids almost.
Yeah.
Like,
Especially that they came up in like the Wayne
Yeah.
Firehouse, and like now they're like, yeah, that's pretty crazy.
yeah.
And,
So
like
that was
you knew,
happening. That's
yeah, and you got the tour with like these people. That's insane to me, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
How was that? How was going on tour with like somebody like Taking Back Sunday?
Yeah. I mean, it was. It was life changing to
Yeah.
to be able to play in front of those people. Like we played like a string. I think like 2.5 weeks of sold out shows. We got to play like Houses of Blues. And a couple other like big venues throughout the middle of the state or middle of the country, and then down the East Coast. We got to play Irving Plaza
Wow.
in New York, and that's like the first venue I ever went to see a punk show. Like I went to see Descendants play at Irving Plaza, when I'm like 13.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh my gosh, like we get to play here,
Yeah.
and like go backstage at Irving Plaza.
That's an iconic spot, Irving Plaza.
Yeah, it
Back
is.
then.
Yeah.
I don't know about too much now. Like nothing really
Yeah.
happens around there. But back then I remember like when I went there around that scene was I saw Fall Out Boy open for Less Than Jake when they were
Okay.
first coming out.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. That was a pretty like people always said like it's kind of like a weird setup now if you think about it, but that's how music used to be, like blending the genres, and it's not like that now.
No.
Totally.
They all like keep like the same music at shows now, which I think they should blend.
Right.
Yeah, it opens
But-
up the opportunity to learn, like
Yeah, be exposed to different crowds and different styles.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's insane. Taking Back Sunday, all those bands. Wow. Is there any other bands you went on tour with that? are, like-
Yeah, I think like immediately after that tour, we came home and we wrote.
Euro.
We started writing for Promise and Compromise, and then
Oh, so you opened up for Taking Back Sunday with New American Saint.
yep,
Oh wow.
yeah,
Okay, I thought it was with the your last album. 'Cause
Yeah.
I was about to say, why would you stop then?
right.
Yeah. Okay, that
Yeah,
makes sense.
no, I
now.
think a lot of that again, like seeing Taking Back Sunday and like their mixture of styles and pulling from all different influences, helped us write the Promise and Compromise in a way that was like, this is our sound now.
Yeah.
Like we finally found the sweet spots.
Mhm.
We still kept our pop punk roots, but even in that genre, we were always kind of more towards the emo side. Like we love Jimmy Eat World, we loved the Get Up Kids. Like we were kind of leaning in more of a rock, and kind of like love Foo Fighters, like just kind of more in that kind of rock,
Yeah.
alternative rock sound. And I think that came across in Promise. We got to record with Fred Archambault and Mark Rank Fred Archambault had been the producer on the Avenged Sevenfold record with the song
That country.
That Country, yes. So we were like, okay, we want like really big and, you know, kind of shreddy guitars at times. And then we want really big drum sounds and kind of like, you know, verging on almost metal, as metal as we could get, you know. And then Mark Rank was a kind of our vocal producer, and he helped really help me find my sound in terms of my vocal. Because I think what made Tokyo Rose different from most pop punk was that I had a different vocal style. I think I grew up loving Bon Jovi, Michael Jackson, you know, a lot of Motown stuff was like in my blood, and then kind of coming through ska music, kind of picking up more melodic singing styles that you didn't really hear, you know, in the genre at that time. So I think, you know, he really helped me hone that sound.
Yeah.
You know, whereas like a band like Cartel, who was on the Militia Group as well, and then a band like Acceptance, who's just celebrating their
I
20th
love
anniversary.
Acceptance.
Oh my gosh,
Dude,
we
that
love it too.
album is so good.
So
Every
good.
song is like contagious.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's one of the songs. I put that together. See what I did there?
Yeah, that's very good. Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just listening to that album too. That's a great album.
Yeah. And like, you know, the way that they craft songs, but then their vocalists, you know, like have their own unique style. I think that's kind of what we were going for, to be able to put together a Tokyo Rose sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what makes you guys unique too. Like you could tell, like, you know, the refinement of your vocals, you know, separates you from all the other like pop punk emo bands out there. You know.
Thanks,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah, you do sound really different.
Which
compared
a,
to the bands.
a good different too. Like
Yeah.
it's really good.
Yeah. Yeah. And then with like that album, you could definitely tell that it's just bumped up. So with my next question, what it all came to an end after that album coming out? Did you
Yeah.
tour that album at all, or?
So we did.
You did,
We
okay.
toured that album a little bit. We had gotten on a booking agent at that time who put us on some really cool tours, kind of mixture, genre mixture tours. We had done a tour with Authority Zero and Zebrahead, you know, who were kind of more in the punk and kind of still had like some ska and kind of had the verge of like hip hop kind of coming in as well. And so that kind of helped us, for lack of a better term, like hone our sound, because we were like, we're not that sound. Like Authority Punk is very much like a punk band, like a West Coast punk band.
Yeah.
And then Zebra had a lot of like ska influence as well. And we were like, oh, we're really not that anymore. You know, we kind of matured in a different way. We evolved in a different way.
Yeah.
And so we started playing some of those shows. And then the booking agent was able to help us get on Bayside 4 Years Strong, Straight Light Run.
Wow.
And we love the Straight Light Run guys, you know, like, you know, pre Taking Back Sunday split, you know, like those albums as well. It's like very quintessential of that scene. And, you know, getting to play with those guys and Bayside, you know, we had toured on the EP, our very first tour when we went down to Florida and back. And we met Bayside in Orlando, Florida. You know, and this is before like all the tragic stuff happened with their previous members. And Anthony's always been the nicest guy in the world, and he remembered that we had played together in Florida.
Oh,
you know, so we
wow.
reconnected on that tour, and it was when the Giants were beating the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah.
You know, so like early 08.
Yeah.
And so it was a good time because like Jack, their guitar player at the time, is from Massachusetts, and we played in kind of New England area. And so we got to play and like watch football after the shows and stuff, and it was a really cool time. And getting to meet 4 Years Strong, like those guys, you know, just pioneers in the scene. You know, I still love those guys, still crushing it.
Yeah.
You know, still with all the energy and all the power. You know, and then Straight Light, just, you know, like having that quintessential emo sound, you know, with the keys. And, you know, Will Noon, who played drums in Breaking Pangea with Fred, was in Straight Light Run. So we had a lot of connections there and like a lot of floating relationships and stuff. And at that time, our bass player Chris had joined the Color Fred. So we had released the record in like late '07 or mid '07, and then the album sales were really dramatically impacted by pirating, by digital pirating. The album was leaked 2 weeks before it came out, so
Label must have been
the label
pissed.
was not happy.
Yeah.
And there wasn't really a way to get that back. If you're familiar with kind of like album cycles and stuff, like they other labels who are interested in like upstreaming or picking up bands for the major labels will really pay attention, and like Billboard charts like how many albums you sell in the first 2 weeks. But because our album had been leaked, people already had it, so nobody was gonna buy it.
That sucks.
It was rough. It was
Yeah.
rough, and like, to think like a band like Metallica complaining about digital piracy, it's like, but you guys already sell millions of albums.
Yeah, you're like a household name.
They're still going to
already.
buy your album anyway.
They're still gonna buy your album anyway, even if they have a digital copy of it.
Yeah.
But that wasn't true of a band like us.
Yeah.
So,
Damn.
that was kind of a gut punch there, and a reality check, very sobering. And with Chris having the opportunity with Color Fred, we played actually the Bayside tour without Chris. That was our one and only tour without Chris. And when we got home from that, we were like, you know what? I think this might be a sign from the universe to not pack it in. Like we just thought about like a hiatus, like a break, and like bands at that time were taking 5-year breaks or something like that. I remember when Fall Out Boy took their break and was like, are they ever going to get back together again?
Yeah.
And it felt like maybe that could happen with us, that we can come back, but we weren't nearly as big as a band like Fall Out Boy or anything like that. But it felt like, it was like a good time to pause.
Yeah.
And then life just happened and the pause lengthened.
Yeah. Yeah. It was tough, 2007, because around 2010, that's when everything started to fade. That's when the scene was kind of like, it had their run, and people were like moving on to like EDM, like dubstep. So, 2007, even though I think you guys should have kept going, it's easy for me to say that.
Sure.
Like keep your foot on the gas. I would always say that to anybody creative, though. It's hard to you always like think like, should we stop? But that's only a decision that you can make.
Yeah.
If you're the creative. But 2010 is like 3 years from 2007. So
Right.
I guess it was, at least you did it then 2004 or 5.
Sure.
Because by 10 it was already like kind of like Warped Tour wasn't selling as much,
Right.
Moonwiggle wasn't selling as much, and then the scene just came back like a past couple of years. Like, I mean, with Warped Tour coming back now, it's crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like the whole when we were young, like
Yeah.
just that
Started
nostalgia, and I think that's what kind of got the idea in Jon Timiana's head to reach out.
Yeah.
Because honestly, we had moved on. And there had been like select things here, like during the COVID pandemic. A guy called Jay Vix, who was in a local band in Jersey called Red Rover, was doing this thing online called Quarantunes. It was through the Facebook NJ Pop Punk group, and he had streaming capabilities, and we figured out like the Zoom lift, with the changing the mics and stuff to make it be more natural sound. And so he had myself, Brian from Penfold. He had a couple volumes of, they called it Quarantunes.
I think I played a show with Penfold.
Yeah, I mean, they were
I played Mexicali with them.
in my opinion, they were the best emo band out of New Brunswick, hands down.
I'm like, if I have that flyer still, I'll post it, because I definitely remember.
Yeah,
This had to be, I don't know if they were a reunion too, because this was like, that was 2013, I think.
they just did a reunion. I think this past month.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, in September. I didn't get to go to it, but I think it was at Crossroads.
Oh, Crossroads, yeah.
Yeah, and
Still kicking.
I got to like the first emo show I saw in a New Brunswick basement was Penfold.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was like I had to cut class because I was like, "There's a show," Like, I don't know the band, but like I want to go to a show. Like, it's a New Brunswick basement show. I have to
Yeah.
go. It was like my first day of class freshman year, and like, I cut the last class because I wanted to go to the show.
Dude.
Yeah.
That scene in New Brunswick
Oh,
never
yeah.
dies, man.
Oh,
The
man.
bands we bring on, they talk about it still till now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, I mean, you know, like you said, how like all the bands are connected. Like, old members from one band and another band will join up and start a new band. Like, that's like Gaslight Anthem. You
Yeah.
know, like the most famous band from New
Yeah,
Brunswick,
exactly.
right? Like, and they're amazing, you know. And the fact that it was like, you know, a couple guys from this band, you know, Brian Fallon was in Lane Meyer back in the day, you know, playing the Wayne Firehouse, and then went to Rutgers and like met those guys, and you know,
That's
and then the Souls.
yeah.
You know, you got the Souls, and they, you know, like they've kept it alive as well.
Yeah. Have you been to a show in Court Tavern before?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah,
I've never been.
yeah,
And I was like around during that time. I've never been. I wish I went.
yeah,
The building's still there.
yeah.
Just not occupied. I don't
No,
think.
no. Yeah, I think they closed it a few years ago now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Bring it back. It's still there. I think the sign's still on the place too.
totally. Like there, Plum Street Pub. I went to a show at the Alien Witch, which was like off of Easton Avenue, and then like a couple like went to the Midtown House, played my house on at 27 Robinson. We played a couple shows there. We had like Beautiful Mistake from California come out and play my basement.
That's sick.
You know, it was like an old rundown basement. And, like there's probably rats and roaches and everything.
Good.
But, like-
That's Rutgers basement.
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
the drums would, you know, make them scatter. And then Counterfeit from San Diego, who was on Negative Progression Records, loved that band. They came out and played in my basement. Yeah, it was a cool time.
Yeah, so you lived the scene like nonstop, even though when you were like
yeah,
done, you were still going to shows. And,
yeah,
like,
oh yeah, totally.
that's crazy, man.
Totally.
Well, I'm happy you're back.
Yeah.
That's great. When I saw you guys were playing again, I'm like, Tokyo Rose. I'm like, they're back? That's crazy. Yeah, that was really cool to see at Wonder Bar. It's a really cool story, man. So, like, yeah, I used to come see you back in the day, so it's really cool to actually sit here with you, like, after
Oh, yeah, man.
hearing about you in 2002, maybe it was, 2003, through Chris Badami. Check out this band.
That's so.
And me and
that's
my
so
friends were
crazy.
just like listening to it, like this is sick, because those are also one of the songs that like got us to go in that studio,
That's
and like
awesome.
that. And I remember like early November recorded there, right?
That's right.
Like,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, they recorded like I think like right after us.
yeah.
Yeah, and then like one of the songs, like when we heard that record, we are like, wow, that sounds exactly like one of our songs. It actually sounded like a lot like Saturday Every Day, and then we looked in the back, it's like, oh, Chris recorded it. So
Yeah.
it made so much sense.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, my God, that's so thorough. We had a video. I remember we had like someone taking video of the us there, and I was looking for it, and we're going through all these like old like tapes,
Right.
And then like we saw like a bit of us like in portrait,
Nice.
and it goes to my friend like skateboarding. I'm like, oh God,
Oh,
I'm like, you
man.
erased our history.
That's what happens, man. That's so true.
I was like, are you serious, dude? I was so pissed.
That's so true.
Yeah,
So many videos.
I know.
You know, like I follow him on the socials, but he's a guy that's like super involved with Acceptance getting signed. Matt Pinfield. You know, Matt Pinfield, he used to do that show on MTV, 120 Minutes, where he'd like showcase all the alternative bands, music videos. It would be like midnight on a Sunday night, like, so you'd have to like stay up and then like have to go to school the next day. But like I would record, like whatever VHS I had on hand, I'd put tape over the notch.
the little hole on the side.
Yeah, and then I'd record all the videos on 120 Minutes, and it's just like Matt. I like grew up watching Matt Pinfield, and now like I get to see him on Instagram and stuff, and
Yeah, that's
he
awesome.
knows he's like good friends with Acceptance and a lot of other bands in the scene, like The Used, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh man,
I wish Acceptance would come here, but we'll see.
yeah,
The one that I found crazy is that Homegrown came here recently.
right.
And they didn't even no one advertised the show. It's
Yeah.
Hit the Lights Them, and I'm like, I see it on like a random promo like name on IG, and I'm like, Homegrown's coming here. Like I've been
Oh,
waiting
man.
for this, but then I already got tickets to see her now for Blink, so I couldn't make it. I
Oh,
really wanted
man.
to go because I've never seen that live. I used to love Drive Thru. I mean,
Yeah.
everyone did back
Yeah.
then. Drive Thru was like the biggest start of like
It
kind of like the
was.
scene, right?
Absolutely.
Like I remember seeing Hidden Plainview. I went to their signing of their Drive Thru Records
Yeah.
show in Bloomfield Ave. I remember
yeah.
it was packed. That's one of the big shows I remember.
Yeah, those guys are still still doing it. They kind of took a hiatus and came back, and they're still doing new music. Chris, their bass player, is still a good friend. He came up in the ska scene too. He played in a ska band called the Derringers, and so with Jeff Davison from Catch 22, who's back in Catch 22 for this tour that they're doing, and we've all just kind of stayed in touch and thankful for Facebook and Instagram, to be able to stay in contact with people.
It's the benefits of social media.
Yeah, absolutely. Being still somewhat connected.
Yep.
That's great. Any advice for upcoming musicians that you would give?
That's tough. It's like I said, it's a whole different animal. I think, socials are where it's gonna be right now to get signed, I guess. But at the same time, just write, be honest, write honestly, and people are gonna either love it or not. But I think if they love it for you being honest, then you're doing something right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think a lot of recording you can do at home now, so you don't have to get signed to get signed. You can do a lot of home recording, and make really good recordings.
That's true.
You know what I mean? And you don't have to give a part of it to a record label.
Yeah. Back in the day, it used to be like a Fostex, like a really crappy. Now it's like you have a home studio at your place.
Totally.
But yeah. How does it feel? One more question. How does it feel to be back on the road again? It's
is it
different. A lot still, or
it's different?
You're
it's a
older
lot
now.
still. Yeah. Everything hurts after you play a show. We opened for Red Jumpsuit Apparatus last month, and there was another band called Morning in May who was also on the tour, and they jump around the stage and stuff, and they're 20 something, so they get off the stage and they're fine. I rolled my ankle coming off the stage after doing that. I was I'm wearing a brace to this day because I'm oh, that hurt so bad. Being in your 40s, it's a lot of fun. And we're so grateful. So thankful, and thankful for people coming out who knew us back then, for new ears to new eyes to see us now.
Yeah.
It's a privilege, and we're so thankful that the scene, still kind of helps each other out.
Yeah. That's great that even the people from back in the day are still helping along with that, because I know there's a lot of new heads too that are happening, but it's good that the shows are keeping on going from back in the day, and that's great.
Yeah.
So with this being said, we usually close out with playlist of the week.
Okay.
So we do 2 songs each and we go around.
Cool.
You always start. We know this. No.
Right.
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll just do it.
Okay.
My 2 songs this week are going to be Fine Again by Seether and oh my God, Riot by 3 Days Grace.
Wow.
All right.
That genre together. It's great.
Yes, sir.
All right. In a mood.
I'm rocking it recently.
I'm gonna go with nobody really knows this band. I mean, if you've been in the scene, you probably know this band. Name Taken. I'm gonna go with, right?
Nice.
Name Taken full-length album was insane. Yeah, and nobody knows it. So yes, yeah. But I'm gonna go with one of their songs. I'm gonna go with Name Taken, Cover Up. Awesome. Let's go with that. And then I'm gonna do another song, which is what was the song we picked?
Enrique
I
Iglesias.
know what it was. Matchbook Romance, Playing for Keeps. Their full-length album just became 22 2 days ago.
Wow.
So I'm gonna go with Matchbook Romance. Matchbook Romance, Playing for Keeps.
Nice.
That's awesome. 2 great bands that we got to play with back in the day.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
When you say Name Taken, that takes me back to 2006. We did a pretty good run with, I think, maybe 2.5 to maybe 3 weeks with those guys.
Really?
Yeah, it was a fun tour.
God, I wish you had you for a longer time.
Yeah,
man. Would you come back again?
I totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. This
Amazing.
is a lot of fun.
All right, great.
Okay.
I got a lot more questions.
So playlist. So Paul Meany, the lead singer and head creative of the band Mute Math, who we loved so much, watched every day on Warped Tour when we were on Warped Tour with those guys. He just released his first kind of solo record, and that literally came out 2 days ago. The first track called "Hold the Record," amazing. He picks up where Meat Math kind of left off with kind of the more dancey, but like all organic samples and stuff. And he plays all the instruments, and that's on YouTube. I just saw that. And then we love Motion City, you know, and like everything from She Is Afraid. I would say She Is Afraid is the track that I've been liking the most.
Nice. Yeah. Motion City soundtrack 2 back at it again.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. It's been great.
So excited for them.
Yeah, I'm excited for you guys too.
Thanks, man.
Let's keep it going. I'm back. I'm happy that like we're reliving the early 2000s again, and we just got our tickets to Warped Tour too. So.
Yeah,
Nice.
we
Yeah,
did.
DC?
DC again. We went this
Cool.
previous year too. It was great, man.
I'm just still hoping my feet are healed by then. They're not.
Right?
It'll
That's
be fine.
exactly it.
Get a massage.
It's been
All right.
since June.
Yeah. All right, guys. Ryan, thank you so much again for coming in.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you,
you.
guys.
This means a
Appreciate
lot.
it.
I'm definitely going to be calling you to come in again soon.
All right.
So many questions, and I know people that I'm friends with are going to find this episode like so interesting too, and
Cool.
even people that are new artists, because you know the structure, you've been in the industry, you know, so you know the ins and outs of it. So thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
And I think we're going to do an acoustic set. So guys, stay tuned. Ryan, thank you again. You want to shout out your IGs and all that stuff real quick?
Yeah.
For the first
absolutely.
time, social media, because
First time. Exactly. We didn't exist back then.
You're like MySpace. Wait, no.
yeah, like, what's our top 8?
Yeah.
So yeah, we're Tokyo Rose NJ on Instagram and on TikTok. We don't have YouTube or anything like that. We don't have Facebook. We had a MySpace. If you guys can go way back, where's that time machine at?
I know, right?
We're
Yeah.
at it.
Yeah, but that's where you'll find us. And yeah, Tokyo Rose NJ, because we're from here. And actually, when we started Tokyo Rose, there was another band called Tokyo Rose from the UK. So
Yeah.
I guess they're Tokyo Rose UK, and we're Tokyo Rose NJ.
Yeah, NJ is where it all started for 2000s
Absolutely.
here. And remember that, because some bands miss touring here now.
There you
They
go.
only go to Philly, New York, so come to Jersey.
Come to
Make
Jersey.
it happen.
Yeah.
Jersey's the spot. Thank you so much again.
Thanks, Kev.
All right, guys, we'll see you soon. Peace.
See ya.